Yo, yo, 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Hello? Yo, big up. Oh, there is sound. Oh, you're there making me paro. Turn up your volume, Bobby. You hear me? Sound again? Okay. It's sound now, yeah? Yeah? Please let me know. So I don't know what's going on here. Send the link. 1 second. 1 second, guys. This is why I needed Leon, you know. I thought I'd be able to do this all on my ones. 1 second. Right, the link should be. Um, do, 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 do. Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Hold on. Here we go. 1 sec. I'm gonna have to open. What was it? WhatsApp. Oh shit. 1 second, guys. I'll send you the link. Send the link now. Hold on. Oh, actually, I can send it in the chat. 1 second. I didn't. I know I'm moving mad old. I know I'm moving mad old. I'm moving like a proper uncle. This is why. Listen, kids. Any teens watching, this is why you should do computer studies in school. Back in my day, we didn't think like IT was important, and now look, I'm paying the price, looking like a proper waste man out here. Now I'm trying to copy a link into my bloody thing. I don't even know how to use this damn thing, really, boy. Um, what is it again, Tony? You said it was Alt Control. Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone hit the thing. Someone hit the thing, man. Yeah. So we're going to talk about last night's action between um, Anthony Joshua. Hello, brother. Hey. I want to watch this live, but I've been told enough boxing for today. Please keep this up so I can listen back on my way to work tomorrow. That's okay, Jam Down 187. Big up yourself every time. Um, but this is one you are gonna, yeah, actually, yeah. If you want to listen to tomorrow, you can listen to tomorrow. If you want to tune in today and get some gems, because I'm gonna break down why I believe that what Anthony Joshua did was perfectly fine. Um, if we're talking about, hold on, lies, I'm 54. I studied my book in computer. Hold on, comments. Yeah, I'm 54. I studied. Hold on. Da-da-da-da. Hold on. Not full screen. I'm looking mad. Yeah. As it was called. Yeah. Base is laughing at me like I'm mad. The link is in the chat, guys. Yeah, I've done it. Big up, Jam Down. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna break down why I think. Well, not break down. I'm just gonna say why I think Anthony Joshua's his fight last night was perfectly fine. So he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights, right? So he lost to Andy Ruiz, won the titles back, beat Pulev, lost to Usyk twice, and then now he's just beat Jermaine Franklin. Now people are like, oh, but he went points with Jermaine Franklin. He should be knocking him out. He should be dealing with him. He should be blasting him out, etc., etc. Okay, but for one, I haven't, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen Jermaine Franklin on the floor before. He hasn't appeared hurt to me, so he's shown a very good chin. I remember even before the Dillian White fight that he was sparring down the Peacock gym with Daniel Dubois, and he had a very good chin. Then he was taking his shots perfectly fine, not even budging, nothing like that. Um, so if a guy has a very good chin, why would you expect AJ to just blast him out? And you haven't seen him hurt before or drop before. Why would you say, oh, AJ's got to blast him out, and you expect AJ to blast him out? He's a bomb, this, that, and that. And people are saying, he's fat, he's not in shape. He come in good shape to me. He looks in good shape. He had some abs. He had good arms and shoulders and stuff like that. It looked, arms and shoulders look big. So he was in good shape. So if we go through the annals of history, as my boy Tony Pugilist says, we'll start with none other than the best Panamanian boxer of all time, Roberto Duran, because once upon a time, he was in a predicament like this, where he lost 3 of his past 5 fights, and people was like, "Oh, Jermaine Franklin, why are you fighting him for?" Okay, now those who may remember, do you remember when? Well, most people will know this when Roberto Duran he lost his second fight. This was his second loss. It was the rematch against Sugar Ray Leonard, right? So he did the no mass thing, TKO round 8, right? Follow me. Then he comes back, beats Nino Gonzalez on points, beats Luigi Minchillo on points. Fair enough. Then he loses to Reyes on points and Kirkland Lang on points. Who did he come back and fight? So he'd lost 3 of his last 5 fights, right? And who did he come back and fight after he lost them 2 back-to-back fights? Jimmy Batten. Now, who's Jimmy Batten? Nobody, right? So people are saying about Jermaine Franklin, nobody, right? Jimmy Batten is a nobody. He's a guy who was 36-6, right? Now, was everyone saying if Roberto Duran's got to knock him out, if Roberto Duran doesn't knock him out, then he's got to retire, etc., etc.? Was they saying that? No, they wasn't. And guess what? He went points with Jimmy Batten. Roberto Duran went points with Jimmy Batten. Not only did he go points with Jimmy Batten, then his fight after that, um, yeah, then he fought Pepino Chuevas, where he got the knockout or whatever. But Jimmy, he come back against Jimmy Batten, he won on points. Was everyone saying he was done? No, because he still had a decent career after that. So Anthony Joshua, he's just changed trainer to Derek James. I thought I saw some good things in there last night. He seemed to be stepping across well, using his footwork well. Um, 1 second, 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. Can you turn that TV down? Turn the telly down. Um, Sorry about that. Don't know what they do. My kids are doing, being silly. Um, yeah. So yes. 1 second, pugilist. Preach, brother. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, he's just changed trainer. I've seen him. I've seen improvements where he's stepping across, using his foot placement better. Obviously, he's not going to be fleet-footed when he's 18 stone two. You see, what trying to dance around when you're that size and that hench is not going to bode well for you. You're going to end up gassing out, throwing these big 7, 8 punch combinations when you're that size is going to tire you out in the second half if you don't get rid of a guy. Everyone's like, oh, because he's that size, I think he's going for detonation, devastation. Maybe, or maybe that's just he says he doesn't watch his weight like that. Hold on, he forgot to mute. Yeah, oh yeah. This is real life, man. We're real in the field, man. Um, Hold on. I'm up to date with all these. Oh, so base is in there. I'm gonna jump on it and watching the fight. What fight? What fight are you watching? Are you watching the fight back, or are you watching Ramirez Dogbo? We'll get onto that one afterwards, anyway. But yeah, good foot placement. He was stepping across, using the right hand, shooting the right hand well. He wasn't stepping into it to fully get the full load up of it, but he was landing clean shots, knocking Franklin's head back. The lead uppercut was really good. He was using sometimes a screw jab, a lead uppercut, which he has been known for in the past. That's how he caught Vladimir with one of them as he rolled under. But he was using it in a different way. So it's a shot that Derek James has obviously been working with on him, which I thought was very good. He landed a good body shot kind of late on, which that seemed to hurt Franklin a bit momentarily. But Franklin recovered and did well. Um, yeah, I thought I saw him. I thought he looked quite good. People are thinking a bit harsh on AJ. But and remember, you see when a lot of these fighters, okay, you're watching AJ Franklin, yeah. You see when a lot of these fighters are having their rebuilds, they don't necessarily main event. But AJ's in a predicament where because he's such a box office draw and he requires a certain amount of money and a certain amount of fans, he is or is going to be a massive show on big deal on TV. Whereas when Roberto Duran's fighting Jimmy Batten, how many people tuned into that really and truly? Was what TV station was that really on big time boxing, like the Sugar Ray Leonard fights or the Kirkland Lang fights, or I don't think it was. Um, but AJ doesn't get that benefit of the doubt, and I think this is why he gets harshly judged and unfairly. He's always getting. I think he gets a bit too much of the raw deal compared to a lot of the people in the past. Who a lot of people like to rave on about so dearly and speak of in high regards. But when we look back through the annals of history, people weren't talking like this back in the day. When Mike Tyson got beat, who did he come back and fight when he lost to Buster Douglas? Yeah, see what I'm saying? You didn't have live fights, and so you couldn't. No one even watched that fight until maybe years later. You see what I'm saying? But he's under the spotlight, under the cosh, every single time. You see what I'm saying, Tony? 1 second, sorry, I'm gonna put this up. He said he didn't have live fights. You see what I'm saying? So you wouldn't have even seen the Jimmy Batten fight. even if we go to, um, let's go Iron Mike Tyson, right? Okay. So if we go to Mike Tyson, what's going on here? So when Mike Tyson lost the first time, Buster Douglas, then he fought Henry Tillman, right? He blasted him out. That was a joker. When he got two back-to-back fights, Franz Bofa, he was meant to get rid of him. So, and I don't think people was, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Mike Tyson blasted him out, but there's been people in history who haven't blasted at these type of guys, and Franklin has shown that he's got a good chin. So I know AJ said, oh, he expects someone to knock out or stop Franklin. The only type of person I think could is someone who has a very high engine, i.e., like a Joe Joyce. Someone like Joe Joyce would grind down, I think, Franklin. And if Franklin's not able to still keep up with the pace of the fight with Franklin, then he'd get stopped. Pugilist once again. We were lucky if it was shown the following week on World of Sport with Dickie Davis. You see what I'm saying? But now it's big DAZN, big new channel. Remember the first fight on the new channel, you know what I'm saying? The new channel on Sky, this ain't even on the app. You couldn't even hide. Now the regular Joes can get him again. The regular Joes. They're paying. They're watching him back on Sky. So what's your thoughts on the fight fans? Let me know in the comment section. What's your thoughts on the fight? Also, Fabio Wardley. Let's talk about that one as well. What are we gonna do about Howard Foster, guys? Because someone's got to start writing in to the board about this guy, because this guy, he's just stopping everything that moves. Like, he's just stopping. He's jumping in so quick all the time. It just spoils. He's moving like Fabio Wardley sold 100 tickets down York Hall, and Michael Coffey's just any journeyman who's trying to not, I don't know, like he just wants to put him on a 28 days. Like, it's just silly. The guy was blocking how many shots, and he's right there looking at it. He's that close. He's blocking it. He's on that side where he's actually blocking it. So what? One or two, like, skate through, not even landing mad hard. Didn't snap his head back at all, and he's just jumping in. Like, what was the point of that? Chief support, you know. AJ's fight ended up being on a bit earlier than normal for a UK TV because they ran out of time, really. Yeah, it helped with my accumulator because I picked Fabio Wardley to stop him, but that wasn't a real stoppage. I know Base the Kid's a bit cheesed off about it because he didn't think that Fabio would stop Michael Coffey in reality's sake. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a proper stoppage or knocking him out. But it was just a bit that was a bit jarring, that one. Galal Fire, he looked very impressive last night, getting the stoppage. He's one of those guys who's going to be in a lot of fun fights because he stays in the pocket so long, so often. He's literally just always in your face. He's going to end up having a lot of trade-offs if he doesn't adapt his style a bit, because he throws a lot of shots at, say, 60%, 65%, and then he changes the power on the punch. It's kind of like how Lomachenko does it, but without all the matrix footwork, high tech footwork, should I say? Uh, Sorry, Base says, yeah, Foster needs demoting. Yeah, he does. He does. He's not. That's not A-star refereeing. You got Ian John Lewis, who's been demoted from not being a non A-star referee. I see he did the refereeing at the Misfits show in Telford the other last month. I see him up there, and even Jeff Hines. Jeff Hines was a judge up there, so it was good to see them back out working. So these guys have been, either thrown off or demoted. And you've got Howard Foster doing madnesses still. Like he's the Froch George, Carl Froch, George Groves one. He's done a few. Didn't he do the Oval Mackenzie versus Enzo Macrinelli one? I'm sure he did that when Mackenzie threw a barrage of punches. None of them landed like that, really. And he just jumped in and stopped him. And he said, "Oh, I was worried because Enzo's been knocked out a few times." I was like, "Oh my, you can't say this. Like, the shots didn't land. Like, if the board are licensing Enzo, then you can't be jumping in because you don't want to see him get hit. That's just so weird." Hold on. Yeah, Lewis gave up his British license. Yeah, because they demoted him, but he was working down at the Misfits thing. So I think that one comes under a different governing body type thing. But yeah, it's just yeah, Howard Foster. You can't be having him at these matches no more. We got to reduce him to lower tier. He can't be on TV like on these big fights. Maybe I can't even say I'd want him on early in the cards because he'd just be stopping them fights like crazy as well. Even though they're more likely to get stoppages down at that lower level, so it'd be easier to judge it. But I wouldn't really want him on a big show like that. He needs to, yeah, he needs to. You need some new refs, man. They need some new refs up in there, in Britain especially, because there ain't even no new refs coming through on the big time boxing scene. I don't really see no new guys like that. They need to definitely shake things up and, well, maybe who if are people applying to be refs? Are the young guys applying to be referees up in here? It's maybe something that people may need to look into. Um, as a career, you get to travel the country, travel sometimes the world. If you get to A star, you know, definitely around Europe, you can, make a nice little cheddar for that. So yeah, but I don't really want to see him doing any proper boxing shows like that anymore. He's just winding up. Talking about Fabio Wardley, sorry. So where also would you rank? I want to know, guys, leave in the comment section also. How would you rank the current crop of British heavyweights? I'm not talking about the Furies and the AJs and the Whites. I'm not talking about the big dogs. I'm talking about the newbies, the new school guys. So out of Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye, Frazer Clarke, and any other new young up and coming guys. Um, there's Matty Harris. There's might be a couple of others. If you can name them, then name them as well. But give us the rankings. I think the main top four is Wardley, Adeleye, Clarke, and Dacres. So where would you rank them four guys in numerical order? Hold on. Pugilist. My old school sparring partner, Bob Williams, is doing well as a ref and a fireman in the daytime. Yep. Yeah, I know Bob Williams. Yeah. He's a decent ref. Um, Wayne Alexander does refereeing actually. Funny enough, he was doing refereeing last night in the Indigo O2 for a boxing show. So he was literally just across the landing from the AJ card. So yeah, he was doing it in the other show in the Indigo. So yeah, he'd be a good ref. He knows his boxing. Former fighter, former um, British, European WBU champion. So yeah, man. Um, yeah, but sorry, yeah. If you can give us the numerical order of each of those four heavyweights, that would be good in the comment section. Also, if you managed to see Isaac Dogbo versus Rabisi Ramirez, two-time gold medalist from Cuba, that was a good fight. But before we touch on that, on the other station last night, it was Roy Jones Jr., 54 years old, fighting Anthony Pettis, a former UFC guy, and it was just sad to watch. The man's movement's gone. It's just he just looked mad old. Like it's just like, why are you doing this? And he's gone and he's lost on points. It's just like, oh mate, I don't want to see him in a professional ring again. He should have just allowed it after the exhibition with Tyson. He should have just allowed it. Like I don't know what the whole point of that was. What was the point? There's nothing. There's no point now. This guy is running around. I beat Roy Jones. Oh, like, come on, man. Like, come on. There's no like you're so old. Like, just I don't understand some of these guys or the decision making or people even around them who's allowing them. That why don't these people just talk to these people and just say like, no, it's over, bruv. It's over. Just stop. But it is what it is, man. But back to the Rabisi Ramirez versus Isaac Dogbo. That was a good fight. Um, Rabisi Ramirez was just a bit too fast and a bit too cute. Um, and he wobbled Isaac Dogbo a few times in there with some good headshots and stuff like that. And he claimed the WBO featherweight title. Um, I gave I gave Dogbo about what I scored it like duh, 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 duh. I don't know if it was 8-4 or I don't know if it was 8-4 or 9-3. It was one of them, but it was quite convincing. But I was mad tired because this was mad late. Like I ended up going to bed 6:45 in the morning. You know what I mean? And it's not even like that fight was like when I just thought I'm up already. I might as well just I might as well just stay up and watch this. Like I didn't even have a nap in between the British card and this one, so I just thought, yeah, I might as well just firm it. So I firmed it out and I paid the price. I was mad mash up this morning, but yeah, Rabisa Ramirez he moves on, um, featherweight champion. Um, yeah, he'll be around for a long time because he's a young guy. Um, is he the best? Is he the best in the division? He's still got to clean up the rest of the belts. The other champions in the division are I can't even remember off the top of my head. One second. Well, there's Brandon Figueroa, Mauricio Lara. Oof, oof, oof. Yeah, there's yeah, Brandon Figueroa. He is a W. No, he's an interim. He's not even a proper champion. Hold on, but yeah, Mauricio Lara is definitely a world champion. So he's fighting Lee Wood, and I was thinking that I'm gonna go to Nottingham and watch it because I know Base Light's going. So I thought, yeah, we can go up there together and watch it. But they've put it in Manchester for some reason, just a bit jarring. So I don't even know if that's going to be the main event up there. It probably is, but it's like, why would you put it in Manchester? Like, is there really a need for that? Shaki Foster. Yeah, Robisa Ramirez will beat him. To be fair, he's a WBC. Oh, it's super featherweight champion. Super feather, sorry, not feather. No, it is feather. So why is he? Anyways, but yeah, there's some good fights in there. But yeah, Mauricio Lara is the number one. Would Robisa Ramirez beat him? Hmm. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Not in this moment in time. I think Mauricio Lara beats him in this moment in time. To be fair, to be quite honest, but yeah, give us something. Give us your opinions on the fight last night, guys. Hit the link. Hit the link. I'm sure. Let me put it in the chat again. Hit the link, guys. Someone come on through and let's chop it up. Let me know when you hit that link. Yeah, let's talk about the Jermaine Franklin, Anthony Joshua thoughts on that, and then also let's talk about the current British the new guys heavyweights. I'm not talking about the elite guys. So when I say domestic, I mean British Commonwealth level. So yeah, where do you rank? Who do you have as the number one? Who do you see being? Who do you see having the highest ceiling when it's all said and done? When these guys all fight each other, we're talking about Fabio Wardley, we're talking about David Adeleye, we're talking about Frazer Clarke, we're talking about Solomon Dacres, we're talking about Matty Harris, we're talking about potentially someone like Jordan Thompson moving up. We're talking about Lawrence Okoli potentially moving up one day. Who, yeah, Lawrence Okoli. Um, yeah. What's your opinions on his last fight as well? I don't think we've spoken about that one as well. I don't think you see the style he uses with that kind of pouring the lead hand out, trying to look for the right hand, grabbing. He seems to be very physically strong in pushing around the cruiserweights, but I don't think that style would work for him at heavyweight because he's not big enough. I mean, even if he goes up to heavyweight, how much is he going to weigh really? 215, 220, probably 220. Um, would that really be? I don't think he'd be able to push people around on the inside and hold them and grab hold and walk them back like he does at 200 pounds. All right, so we've got one vote in. Uh, Wardley, one. David Adelaide, two. Free Dacres. Okay, so he said it literally the way I've just said it out. Okay. Hmm. So you think David Adelaide beats Frazer Clarke and Solomon Dacres? Really? That's interesting. To be fair, the fight I would like to see Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher. This is Lux again. Bruv, why do you never just say when you're coming in? You need to come in the chat, bruv. Untraceable. David is too green. Um, yeah, come on the live, man. I've put the link in the thing. Untraceable Don says David's too green. Should have lost to Sokolowski. Yeah, and it's funny how he doesn't want to take that rematch, man. That's a strange one to me. But yeah, yeah, Tony Pugilist. Do you think David Adelaide beats Frazer Clarke and Solomon Dacres right now? Yeah, where would you put Johnny Fisher in this list as well? Is he in the? Would he beat any of these? I don't. Would he beat any of these guys? Let us know. Would Johnny Fisher beat Solomon Dacres, Frazer Clarke, David Adelaide, Wardley? Would you put him in that group yet? I imagine they would. They'd look to put Johnny Fisher in a Southern Area title fight soon because you can definitely win one of those. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a good first step rather than going down some obscene alphabet funny route. Do you know what I mean? Get a legitimate, you know what I mean, well established historical belt. Do you know what I mean? It's proper East End. It's some prestige to that Southern area, and he can have it down. Oh, I don't know. If he has it at your call, you just really need to give him the tickets to sell the whole place out. To be fair, but yeah, I think he's Johnny's good for a Southern area real soon. Someone Solomon Dacres. Well, he got the Midlands. Adelaide has a better resume. How? How so? How so? Yep. Sokolowski definitely ain't no scrub. He's beat some prospects. He beat Don Charles's guy. Um he's beat some good guys, but yeah. Why would you say David Adelaide's resume is better? Who's he beat? What's better? What's better than Frazer Clarke and hold on, and Solomon Dacres? Solomon Dacres beat Sokolowski convincingly. He's the one who probably beat him the best, to be fair. If we're keeping it a buck, if we're talking about, remember, what Sokolowski's been in with three of them. He's been in with Adeleye, Frazer Clarke, and Solomon Dacres. and Adeleye beating the best. Frazer's beaten the cans. He's beating the cans, yeah, but he beat Sokolowski. He beat Sokolowski on points. But Solomon Dacres beat him better though. Solomon Dacres beat Sokolowski better than Frazer Clarke did. And certainly beat him a lot better than David Adeleye did, which many people think that David Adeleye lost. So can you really put Adeleye second? That's really like their best opponent each, really, wouldn't you say? So I think it's fair to say that Fabio Wardley is number one. He's got the best resume out of the two, and he's put on the best displays. But when you're talking about the number two spot, who would you? Is Adeleye the number two? Let's have some more votes. What would you say? Would you say Untraceable? Base the Kid. What do you say? The Cans. Tin Cans, sorry. Yeah, but it's early in their career. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not going to be beating up, fighting world beaters, man. You got to give these guys a chance. But their most common opponent. Hello, Jonathan Jason. How's it going, man? Yeah, their most common opponent is Sokolowski. I think that's a good gauge to judge them on. And going by that, it's because Adeleye did lose. Yeah. Base the Kid. The question is, how would you rank the current, young heavyweight prospects? So the domestic scene, who's the number one in Britain out of the heavyweights? Barring the big boys. We're talking about the grades of the guys like what's his name? Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye, Frazer Clarke, Solomon Dacres, Johnny Fisher, Matty Harris, or any other young heavyweights you can think of. Put them in the comment section and we can judge them up. So far, we've had Pugilist has said he's got Wardley number one, David Adeleye number two, Frazer Clarke number three, and Solomon Dacres number four. That's what Pugilist said. Untraceable Don seems to disagree. Wardley has a better resume. Yeah, he does. I agree. Adeleye gets big for his boots. Never heard of most of those guys. Don't you watch domestic boxing, man? These guys are all on TV. Okay, so Basic Kid has Wardley, Clarke, Harris, Adeleye, Dacres, and Fisher. Okay. Well, it's funny. Okay, so the one what I find interesting is with a lot of with these guys, both times I've seen David Adeleye. Well, Pugilist has put David Adeleye two people above Dacres, and then you've put Adeleye one above Dacres. But if we're going by the Sokolowski fight, which is a common opponent for Frazer Clarke, David Adeleye, and Solomon Dacres, Solomon Dacres beat him the most convincing. He did the best out of them. Frazer Clarke had a bit of a stake out of him, but he got the win. Adeleye, in most people's eyes, felt that he didn't get the victory, so it was very controversial decision. Yeah, and Dacres beat him quite handedly. So why does Dacres get pushed to the back like that so much, man? That's interesting. Oh, TKV last. Yeah, he needs some work. He needs some work. Hold on. Oh, these comments are coming in fast. Big up Matty Harris. Yep, he looked good on Friday night. He looked very good. For a big, tall guy, he throws his shots with good agility, man. Is he 6'8" or 6'9"? Because he says 6'9", but then they build him on the TV as 6'8". Big up October Red boxing, doing big things. I see you in the changing room, jump on his back like the what's it? The mum when I see the son gets a good score report or something like that. One fighter, you've got to do it as a collective. One fighter, you've got to do it as a collective. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Remember, Adeleye said he wanted the winner of Joyce and Dubois. Yeah, saying you want it and and actually doing it is two different things. Ituama has the highest ceiling of all of them. That's a very good point, actually. That was a good shout. I completely forgot about him. He looks good. Big up off the canvas. How you doing, man? I see you in your nice hotel suite with your arrow. You know, mean the new. But yeah, big ups, man. Blessings. Doctor, big ups. Yeah. So, yeah. Ituama. Um, what's his first name again? Because we've got to get this right. It's the heavyweight one, the young one, not the brother who's a light heavyweight. But so far, yeah, I think it's fair to say Fabio Wardley's number one. Um, Moses, that's it. Moses Tuama. Yeah, basic kid seems to think with Fabio Wardley, and a few other people. To be fair, have said they think Wardley's a knockout waiting to happen. Um, I'll tell you another person who I'm worried about, and I've got so much love for him here. Is Harlem Eubank. It's when I watched him on Friday, and he makes a habit of he does this thing where he rolls, crosses his feet, and as he stands up, it's like he just completely loses concentration with his hands down and lets people just hit him in the face. And I'm like, so you leave yourself so open to get hit either on a break, on a on a on a random one when you've just pulled out and you've stood up and you think that the round's over, or you think that the guy's not going to punch you and he's right in range to hit you, and he was getting hit like unnecessarily. He needs to really sort that out, Harlem, because that's a bad it's a bad move he does there, and it looks good when you pull it off, but the way you get caught and the way you're so in range and vulnerable, getting hit, which he does get hit, um, like he was getting hit that time, and I've seen him get hit other times, like the last fight as well against Tom Farrell, because of the same thing. That's how he got wobbled then. The guy who got DQ'd, obviously he was fouling, but Harlem wasn't doing himself any favors doing that crossover duck move, trying to like do that little slick thing, because it's just you're leaving yourself too open, man. He needs to stop doing that because he's gonna end up getting dropped or something. Like, yeah, it's not gonna do good. His chin's way up in the air when he comes out. Hold on, Ituama needs rounds. Yeah, he'll end up like AJ. Yeah, Frank Warren needs to sort out the opponents. Untraceable Don says he'll end up like AJ. Base the kid says Wardley is a KO waiting to happen because he's packing on too much weight and sacrificing his speed and agility. Doesn't have enough head movement or defense to give up his good speed. Now, I'd say, yeah, the head movement thing is right. I agree with you on that. Um, but the foot thing, I think he was still fleet-footed enough. Let me keep that up there. I think he was still fleet-footed enough to get out of range of shots. To be fair, because he's what was it, 242? I think his best weight is probably like 235. But I can understand why he's packing on the size, because when he first come on the scene, I remember he was weighing like 220, 222, 225, 226, that type of stuff. And when you get up with the big boys, that weight makes a difference on them inside, especially if you're going long distances. So he feels, he's a tall guy. He's what, 6'4". Um, he's feeling like in a clinch or in a long fight, when the grabbing starts going on, the tussling, the bustling, he's going to need some size to hang in there with the big boys. Because when you're that light, we've seen with Wilder, when you're that light, yeah, if you've got a detonator, but he ain't a Wilder detonator. He has got good power, decent power though. But I can see why in coffee weigh what two? How much did coffee weigh? 277. He weighed a lot. He weighed a lot. He's faster than these man, but he's not as fast as he used to be. When he goes up against someone with good timing, he's there to be hit. Yeah, but we've seen in quite a few of his fights that he gets hit, but he seems to always come back swinging with a lot of venom and manage to get these guys out of there. Obviously, we're not talking about last night, um, because that was just stupid, that reffing. But most of these heavyweights nowadays don't even move their head. They don't. They don't. 269. Yeah. So 269. Wardley. All right. Say he came in 229. So he'd have gave up 40 pounds. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably thinking. He's probably thinking. Do you know what I mean? So I can understand why he did it, but maybe he can lose. What was it? 242. So he can lose £7, half a stone. I think 235 would be good for him. But he's putting some good size on his legs as well. To be fair, so it's not like he's just going top heavy, and he don't look mad big, but you can see that it is. He's not naturally like big like that. He's not proper thick and big like that. Yeah, you can tell by even his arms and stuff. He's quite a lean guy in general. Yeah, for me, so I've got Wardley 1. Number 2, I'll probably pick Solomon Dacres, because if David Adeleye was to fight Dacres, I'd pick Solomon Dacres to beat Adeleye. If Dacres was to fight Frazer Clarke, I'd pick Dacres to beat Frazer Clarke as well. I think I've got Dacres number 2 right now. Number 3, that's interesting because Adeleye versus Frazer. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. David Adeleye has shown improvements. He has shown improvements. I'm not really sure about that one. Would Frazer Clarke's pedigree be too much for Adeleye? Possibly, but yeah, I could put Wardley 1, Dacres 2. I'd put Frazer Clarke 3. I'd put David Adeleye 4. I'd have Matty Harris 5. Johnny Fisher 6. What is going on here? And Ituama. Yeah, but Ituama's only had 2 fights. I'm not really going to put him in there. I don't think that's fair. So yeah, I wouldn't put him in there for now. But yeah, man. Any other votes from anybody else? Anything else people want to talk about? Let us know. Let us know in the comment section. Also, actually, for last topic, David Benavidez being talks with Caleb Plant. I mean, not Caleb Plant, with Canelo next. Obviously, providing Canelo beats John Ryder, which most people do believe he will. But some people are talking about, David Benavidez, he didn't stop Caleb Plant. He ain't no Mexican monster, even though he's half Ecuador and he reps it very well. He ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't no big puncher. Blah 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 blah. Canelo stopped him and he didn't. Okay, now let's go through some things, factors. in both of their fights. All right. Yes, Canelo stopped him. Yeah, great. But it still took him 11 rounds. If he got through the 11th, he only had one. He only had a round and a half left before it had been 12 rounds. Do you know what I'm saying? So it still took him. It's not like Canelo blasted this guy out in 5 rounds and David's gotten points of him. It still took Canelo 11 rounds to get rid of the guy. So, and it's not like um, Benavidez didn't have plant hurt and stuff like that. Yes, when you're talking about one hit wonder, one punch power, Canelo probably does have that because he throws it with more velocity, whereas Benavidez is an accumulative puncher, combination punches in bunches. That's how he normally stops guys, drops guys, stop guys with the big volume and stuff like that. This is why I've always said that I see David beating Canelo on work rate, on points. He ain't gonna knock Canelo out. And remember, to beat Canelo, you don't knock him out. You don't try and knock the guy out. That ain't gonna work. The only time I've ever seen him hurt is when he got wobbled by Miguel Cotto's brother. The first time I actually watched him, first time I saw him actually, it was on a Floyd Mayweather undercard, and he got wobbled by I forgot it's Cotto. It's Cotto's older brother basically, and he got wobbled by. He was young, so that's understandable. But with Benavidez, I think he'll beat him on work rate because Canelo, he likes to load up, look for the one big shot. He's not throwing combinations like he used to. He's not his tactics. He's relying too much on power. Um, and I think that Benavidez beats him on points. Same way like well, I can't really say the same way because Bivol and Floyd beat Canelo is more with boxing skills and but Bivol did use work rate as well, the punches in bunches. But obviously, we know David doesn't have footwork like Bivol, but he throws more punches. 1 second. Plant outworked Benavidez through 5 rounds. I don't think he did. Did he though? He won. He won 4 out of 5. He won 4 out of 5 rounds. Outlanded him, yeah. But Benavidez was pressurizing him, which was making him take up a lot of energy. Plant, he's feeding himself. He was doing the old Ball Matador thing. He was really feeding himself. And I gave after 5 rounds, I had it 4-1 to Plant. But then Plant was outworking Canelo through the first 5 as well. Go watch that fight back. If you watch the fight, score the fight, score Canelo Plant. Score Canelo Plant. How many rounds did you give to David Plant in the Canelo fight? Let's keep it a buck. Benavidez' hands were holstered. But yeah, well, he was falling over his front foot a lot. I think that was to do with the fact he hadn't. I said it during the watch along. I said he isn't used to fighting fleet-footed guys. You know what I mean? These guys normally he's been fighting as of the last few years. They've been very flat-footed, stationary, there to get tagged up, lit up. Whereas Plant was very elusive. So Benavidez was falling over his front foot. The jab wasn't reaching the target. It was just, it was a bit, it wasn't a good first half. It wasn't a good first half for him. But Canelo and Plant won the first half as well. Plant won the first half of Canelo. Canelo has never been a work rate guy. He's about effective striking and dominating. Exactly. So when out of 11 rounds, after when the knockout happened, I actually had Plant up on my card. I had Plant up. Same way I had Kovalev up on my card when Canelo knocked him out. So people talking about, but Plant won, what's it? 4 rounds against Benavidez. But Plant probably won more than 4 rounds against Canelo. And as you saw the CompuBox stats between the two fights, he landed more punches. Plant landed more punches on Canelo than he did on Benavidez. he got hit more by Benavidez than he did Canelo, but that's to be expected anyway. Benavidez does throw a lot, way more punches, so that's not exactly breaking news. But he hit Canelo more than he hit Benavidez, so that just shows that should say something. Do you know what I mean? And on my scoring, I gave him more. I gave Plant more rounds against Canelo than he did against Benavidez, and he went one less round with Canelo. He won more. He won more than 4 rounds out of the 11. I gave him about 5, 6. I gave him about 5, 6 out of 11 rounds. And with the 12 rounder with David, I gave him 4. It was 8-4. I scored it. One of the judges has it 8-4. If you go onto BoxRec, it says the fans scored it 8-4. So yeah. So as I said, I think, and I've been saying this for a while. So you've got guys have got it documented from previous, and you can get it now. When they do get that fight on, I'm predicting David Benavidez to beat Canelo Alvarez, Saul Alvarez on points. Any other comments, guys? Let us know. Let us know in the comment section. But hope everyone's having a blessed one. What's the time now? 10:30. Okay. I've got to start getting ready, set myself up for tomorrow. I'm sure you guys will do too. But yeah, got a comment here. Are you planning a trip to see your son? Nephew. He's my nephew. It's my nephew. I will yes, I do plan on going to one of his fights. If that fight comes along, I will be looking to go to that fight. I will be looking to go to that fight, Tony. But yeah, that will be a good one. But yes, make sure, guys, that you tune in and subscribe to Base the Kid. Also, make sure you tune in to Base the Kid and Tony Pugilistic Boys channel. Hold on. Oh, yo.
Right, how do I sound? Because I'm walking, I'm out on road at the moment.
It sounds a bit windy.
Alright, hold on, let me come upstairs. Alright, how's that?
Yep, much better.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd come and give you a little helping hand. I know these things ain't that easy by yourself. While I'm on the way to the gym, I figured I'd just give my take. So yeah, what are we talking about?
Well, let's talk about last night's action with Joshua and Franklin. What's your thoughts on the fight?
Okay, so video went up probably about 15 minutes before you went live, 20 minutes before you went live. So anyone go subscribe, Hardcore Casual, see that for yourself. Yep. Ultimately, I thought it was I'd say about a 6.5 out of 10. A pretty good performance, like nothing spectacular, solid, passable grade. Right, had a very good jab.
Yep.
Movement and sort of the lack of unnecessary movement was pretty cool. He kind of kept his feet a bit more. Did some good feinting overall. I think he bit on a couple feints a bit more than he should have. And I don't think he really stepped into a lot of his punches as much as he could have. Like, he was probing, he was getting some good snap on the shots, but it's like he was throwing them from far enough out that nothing can come back, which obviously you can kind of understand if you don't want to get hit, but if you don't commit, then you can't really lay into someone. But as I said, after the White fight, I had to give more credit to Franklin's durability. I knew he was durable, but he showed that he was durable on a different level than I'd seen. And yet again, I have to do exactly the same thing. That man's got a world-class chin. So anyone upset the knockout didn't happen, all right, you try to knock him out and see how well you get on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say to people. Like, how do you knock out a guy that's never been knocked out? How do you know how he is? Hello?
So you say again?
Yeah, I said that I was saying to people that the people I'm saying who are moaning about AJ not knocking him out, I'm saying, how do you knock out a guy that we haven't seen be dropped, hurt, or knocked out before? So it's not as easy as people are thinking that, oh yeah, he's just meant to go out and steamroll a guy who has never been knocked out, who seems to hold a very good chin.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you can already tell that Franklin isn't the type of person that you're going to get a one punch knockout on. You're going to have to catch him with like a 2, 3, or 4-piece combination. Now, so that probably means that he may not ever end up getting knocked out in his career because he can get hurt. I've seen him hurt in that fight. I saw him hurt in the Dillian fight, but the problem is he is, number one, very good at protecting himself when he's hurt, and number two, he seems to have Tyson Fury levels of powers of recovery. So he gets buzzed, and then within 2 or 3 seconds, his head's clear again. So unless you can actually catch him in that 2 or 3 seconds, that's where your opportunity is. And he's good at being able to protect himself in that moment, whether it's jumping into your chest, whether it's firing something off so that it stops your momentum coming forward. Then you have to reset. By that time he's back in clear vision, and he's able to maneuver himself around. So he can get hurt, but he's very quick at recovering. And that's, I guess that's a testament to a lot of people that have naturally been either boxers from young or have just been in a lot of fights in their life, that they just know how their body reacts. They just know what to do to keep themselves switched on.
Yeah, I think he's been, mate. He must have been in a few rumbles on the street as a young, and
that brother's from Saginaw, Michigan. Ain't no way he ain't been tested in the streets. I'll tell you that from now.
Yeah. So he definitely looks like he's had some fights on them cobbles. And yeah, when you talk about the Dillian Whyte fight, I know a lot of people seem to think that he was hurt in that 12th, but if you look at it, White hit him and pushed him, and that's why it looked like he was hurt the way he fell back onto the ropes. But it wasn't actually the punch when you saw, and when you actually look at the replay. That's why I don't think White actually hurt him in that fight, to be fair.
Well, no, he was hurt. He even said he was hurt, but he said he was like he caught him, he hurt me, but it was like it was a quick one. But it wasn't. Remember, it wasn't a punch. He caught him with the palm of the glove. So like where the wrapping is, the hard part. Yeah, that's where he hit him. So he said, no, he caught me. I was hurt, but like I got myself back together, and we do this. We get back to scrapping. That's basically what he said in the interview.
Yeah, man. Also, what's your thoughts on the new signings by DAZN with Jack Catterall, Shannon Ryan, and Sonny Edwards?
So the Shannon Ryan one, I mean, to be honest, when she turned over as a pro, I thought she would have gone there. So that made the most amount of sense, because 258, AJ's with 258, and then you kind of see her, and then Frazer ended up on Sky, even though that all of 258 and that was moving towards the zone. It just looked a bit weird. So it's good that she's gone over there. I spoke to her on Friday when I see her at the weigh-in, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say what she said to me, but essentially, from what I know, I feel like she's gonna get pushed a bit more now, and especially towards where the titles are. I think the connections are just at Matchroom a bit more in those lower weight divisions. So we'll see what happens there. But to me, to be honest, it's a good move. Jack Catterall, I mean, but at the end of the day, he just needs a place at the moment. Like he's been any and everywhere for the last 5 years, from Frank Warren, who obviously got him into that mandatory position to start off with, then getting kind of robbed there, having no real backers, promoters behind you, the whole Pro Bellum thing obviously falling apart, getting to Sky can't do anything with you. But at least, even if he can't get world title shots, DAZN have got a very good 140 division. They ain't got no champions over there, but they got enough good people they can do round robins with at least. I mean, I still think they might as well go and sign Regis Prograis, because he's the only free agent champion that's out there. You want to have someone on your platform. And then that just makes everything a bit spicier with all of those guys. Devin might end up getting back over there when he turns to 140. So yeah, that to me makes a good bit of sense. And to be totally honest, the Sonny Edwards like thing should have been done probably a year and a half ago. I mean, I know he was with the whole Pro Bellum or whatnot, and you know, the other one that I won't mention in case your channel gets shut down. But is at the end of the day, it's just like you've got two of the champions over there anyway. Why would you not want the others? Because if you like to do these undisputed, these champion versus champion fights, you might as well have taken him time ago when he was at a contract with Warren and them, man. But I even said on my video on Saturday, I think the main reason why he's gone and signed Sonny is because I don't think he's particularly happy with Martinez anymore. I think he just thinks Martinez is a waster, constantly pulling out of fights, not getting in shape, not keeping in shape. He's like, you know what? I'll feed him to Sonny because I know Sonny's at least got the gas tank to beat him over 12 rounds and not get tired and not like wear down under pressure, and then I can kind of get him out of my hair. I think that's literally why he's purchased him. And then you get the the Bam Rodriguez fight afterwards.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, I was surprised because even that picture when I saw Sonny put it up, he goes, "Caption this," and I wrote it was a matter of when, not if, Eddie would sign him, because he was saying, "I know you want to sign me, you might as well just sign me." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You see how it goes." But it's like Sonny knew all along you're gonna kind of need him at some point. So, and as you said, he's not happy with what's his name? Not Rodriguez. Martinez. So yeah, it's a good addition. The Shannon Ryan one, I know for guys who may not know, check out Base the Kid and Pugilist. It's called The Breakdown. They did an interview with Shannon Ryan about a month or so ago.
Yeah, it was actually on February 14th, so Valentine's Day. So yeah, it's a nice little present for you, man, who didn't have no gal that day.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, make sure you check that out. She mentioned that she was the only thing she wanted was she was disappointed about is not having 5 fights. So maybe that's something to do with it. She can get.
Well, no, hold on. Let me put a little bit of context, just because I don't want misinformation. She wanted the 5th fight, but she couldn't get the 5th fight because they moved the women's card the month after the Queen died, and then they didn't want to rush another one out in December when she went out again in November. So they decided to just take the Christmas off. So she would have liked the 5 fights, but she was happy with the 4 that she got, and she doesn't blame Boxer or Sky for not having 5 fights in her first year. I just want that to be clarified.
Okay, thank you very much for clearing that up. Also, shout out Maestro, big up salute in here. And yeah, I think Regis Prograis will be a good signing as well. I even think I've always said that I feel Shannon Ryan even fights like Regis Prograis. To be fair, I know a lot of you and Tony feel she fights like
David
Hay, but I think she fights like Regis Prograis to me. But yeah, that would be a good thing. And we know Matchroom has a lot of good women cards in America and over here. So yeah, good addition. And Jack Catterall, yeah, he just needs a home and he needs to get his career going because he's just losing all momentum from when he should have been the undisputed champion, unfortunately. So,
yeah. You know that by the time he gets back in the ring on the 27th of May, he would have been out of the ring over 15 months. Right.
Not the same guy. Yeah,
mad.
Yeah,
just got to hope he's the same guy after that, because you can imagine 50 months of not having to make 140. Like, what's his body gonna feel like after that?
Yeah, and he looked quite big. When he was on TV with next to Joe Cordina. So, yeah, I just hope he's still that guy still. Yeah, last, and then we'll also talk about the current domestic British heavyweights. We're talking about the young gunners. What's your thoughts on guys like Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye, Frazer Clarke, Solomon Dacres, Moses Ituama, those kind of guys, Matty Harris and those guys?
Yeah, so I mean, look, the list I had ultimately was I had Wardley at the head of the pack. I mean, he's the British champ, so he's got to kind of be there.
Yeah.
In terms of ability, I've got Frazer Clarke second. I think you kind of have to put him in that position, even though Dacres has got the English title. So maybe that's a bit unfair on Dacres. I think in terms of a style that I like, I've got Matty Harris as third because I think his natural dimensions, and I feel like he's got a good ceiling. Plus, I feel like he's doing well ultimately in the kind of the fights that he's had. So maybe it's a bit unfair. I'm biased on my part, but I'm putting Harris as third. I've got Adeleye at four, purely because I feel like he has improved a bit since obviously the Sokolowski issue, and I feel like just as a general style, he's very friendly to watch. And I mean, in his last performance, Bezos was actually not that bad of an opponent, realistically, even though he dealt with him, I think, in a round or 2 rounds. So I have to kind of give him a little bit of props for that. I've got Dacres at number 5, which again may be a little bit unfair because he's the English champ, so maybe he should be a bit higher. But I don't really. I'm just finding it hard to see his ceiling and where he goes. I really don't think he's going to get that far, and that's just everything I've seen of him. He just doesn't look like the guy to me. He's got good fundamentals, but I don't see anything special there at all. Then I've got after Dacres, who have I got after? I got Fisher after him. No, there was someone else who I got after him. Then I got Fisher, and then I've got Jamie TKV last, and I don't really know where to put Atuma. I think ceiling-wise, he's number 1, but obviously he's had 2 rounds of professional boxing in his career, so I can't even really rate him at this point.
Yeah. I think 2 rounds is too early. I haven't seen enough to put him in there yet. But TKV, he'd probably be last on the pack. I'm sure he'll get a mix. He'll be in the mix at some point. And then there's them 2. What's them guys? The fake Dolph Lundgren brother.
You're talking about Steve Robinson.
Steve Robinson and the man there.
Yeah, he's not worth discussing, to be honest.
Oh man, yeah, no.
And that's not even, that's not even me trying to discredit or be rude, because ultimately he's what? I think he's about 33, just starting out. Like, he's not even going to get to British level. He'll get to probably Northern area. He'll win like a regional title in Newcastle, and that would be a ceiling. But you know what? That would have been good for him. Yeah, and I say nothing with disrespect when I say he's not going anywhere, but I think he probably knows that too.
Yeah, he started very late, so I think, as you said, the Northern title would be good for him to bow out on anyway. To be fair, when you're starting that in the game, so man, I think we've covered. What's your thoughts on that? Sorry, lastly, about the Canelo and Benavidez fight, if that's looking like it's coming soon?
Well, that fight ain't happening for a long while, if it happens at all. Benavidez has already got 3 other fights signed. Well, 2 fights. So he's not even going to be available to fight probably until June 2024, based on the current schedule that he keeps. But if that fight does take place, I mean, ultimately, I need to see how Canelo looks against Ryder, because obviously I've heard a few stories that he's starting to party a little bit now, and he's like, while he still loves boxing, he doesn't love it as much as he did a year ago, a year and a half. So I need to see how he looks. But ultimately, if that fight takes place, I still see him winning. Purely because as much as Benavidez does have a pretty good work rate and likes to get on top of people in the ring, he only seems to do that against substandard opposition or people that are like really small from all the fights I've watched. And when it came to just him and Caleb Plant, he wasn't able to be that dominating, aggressive monster that he normally is until Plant gassed out. Well, he's not going to be able to gas Canelo out. Canelo's going to stand right in front of him and keep his arms tucked. And I just don't see him being able to do anything that's going to necessarily worry Canelo. I think in terms of stylistically, he's actually tailor-made for Canelo. Canelo, the only people that can outwork him are people that have good gas tanks that can hit and move, and he's got to look for them. From he hasn't got to look for Plant, I feel like he's going to be very comfortable, and I think he's going to put, Benavidez. I don't think he's going to put him in a position that Benavidez is used to, where he's got someone actually on top of him as opposed to the other way around. And that's what we got to see. Can he handle that? And if he can, then good luck to him.
Yeah. So what you were saying, you said normally Benavidez only looks good against guys who are,
not looks good against. Let's clear. I didn't say only. I said he only dominates, like, or lets off flurries of big combinations against people that he can overpower and that he's overmatched for.
Yeah.
When he's fought decent level opponents, his hands, he doesn't unleash his hands to the same level.
Yeah, but it's against guys who are smaller than him, and Canelo's a lot smaller than him. So
no, but when I say smaller, I'm not talking just height. I'm talking like these naturally smaller guys that are brought up through the weight classes. At this point, Canelo is a legit 168 guy.
But he's still a former welterweight / light middleweight / middleweight, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not like Benavidez isn't fighting him just coming up from 160 or just coming up from 154. He's fighting him at a solid 168, been 168 for a good 3 years now, and has been up as high as 175. So he's, in terms of his body and his size, he's maturated within that weight class. So if Benavidez were to beat him, there would be no, he beat up the smaller guy. That excuse wouldn't fly, because Canelo is natural there and he's undisputed there. So he has to be a 168 pounder.
Yeah.
So I'll say that right now. If Benavidez can beat up Canelo, me nor anyone else can be talking about, it was a small guy. No. Canelo was the guy in the division, and then that makes Benavidez the guy in the division.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear no weight bully talk afterwards. Because I know some people will jump straight on that one. But
no, I'm fair. You know very well. I'm balanced.
Not you, but there's a lot of people who come out of that. I'd say mainly stateside. They tend to throw that one out there. But it's good. That's a good fair assessment that you said there. And also, so who's the 2 fights of Benavidez? You said he's got 2 booked.
Yeah, so he's already got the fight signed with David Morrell next in the summer. I'm not sure exactly what date it is, but his manager even said it's been signed, and they signed it before the Plant fight even took place. Whether David knew necessarily it was signed at that point or not, that fight's official. And then I think the third fight of that deal is supposed to be either Andrade or Charlo. So Charlo is basically not coming back at 160. I think he's going to take a tune-up at 168. And then from there, he'll go into a Benavidez fight towards either the end of this year or the very start of 2024.
Okay. So that's as a pugilist has said there, is my nephew versus Maestro's nephew. So that's gonna be a good talking point and build up. I think Maestro, if you're available, we'll have to do a watch along together on that one, because that one will be very interesting. But thank you for those that information. I didn't know any of that, and that's a very tough fight for next fight in the summer. Boy, oh boy! And then but Andre Charlo, I think Benavidez beats up on them, but the Morrell one's going to be the tough one, man, because that guy can move. And he's got moves like Jagger, man. So that's thanks for that, man. That's a very interesting. Anything else you think?
No, that's pretty much good to go on my side. I'm almost at the gym now, so I'm gonna have to leave you to finish off the stream by yourself. But people, make sure if you're not subscribed to Fight Fan, make sure you subscribe. This good content ain't free unless you're subscribing. Peace.
Thank you.
I'm out.
Thank you very much. Big up, Base. Base the Kid. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, Base the Kid, the hardcore casual. Yeah, I think we can wrap it up there, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Fight Fan TV Live. It's Danny Glover, the master aficionado. You know where it is. And yeah, have a great week ahead and great month and a whole 2023. You know where it is. Bless up. Peace.